right, here's a question for you. Do you know what a psychic gland is? Well, how about biophotons or quantum consciousness?
I sure do not, but we are about to find out. Welcome, Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer with the answers. Mark, thank you for coming back.
Thank you. It's great being back here on the Morning Blend.
Yes, we love having you. Now, before we get to all of that, and you're
Sure.
going to explain all that to us, I'm going to step back and remind everybody that I did say psychic lawyer.
Yeah.
And some
Yes.
people think psychic, lawyer, these two things kind of seem polar opposites. So how did you end up getting both of these titles?
Well, I was born a psychic medium. It runs in my family. And then as I got older, I decided I wanted to go into law school and go into law. And then it got to the point where it was a calling, to where I needed to use this ability that I have to communicate with spirits to help people cope with the death of a loved one. And so through my work as an attorney, I specialized in head injury litigation when I was engaged in personal injury. And through my work with the human brain and understanding the functioning of it, I found out about the pineal gland, which is, as you were talking about on the intro, the mysterious psychic gland.
Okay.
So everybody has the ability to have a psychic experience. We all have the same apparatus.
This is so fascinating. So your work as a lawyer got you interested in brain function.
Yes.
And so now we're talking about this psychic gland, and you're saying anybody has, because I was saying on commercial break, I feel like sometimes I could be psychic. Like I just have like a little something very randomly here and there, but tell us more about that.
Exactly. Behind the center of our forehead, about 4 inches. Either of you ever do yoga?
Yeah.
She's a yogi.
Okay, third eye, the third eye chakra. Well, the Hindus figured out centuries ago the locations of the 7 chakras in our body correspond to the locations of the endocrine glands. And the so-called psychic gland is the pineal gland, which is about 4 to 5 inches behind the center of our forehead. Here's what's fascinating. We know that the brain has an electrical field, and recent discoveries have found that the pineal gland has both magnetite and calcite crystals in it, and it regulates our brainwave function. What was the first radio? A piece of quartz crystal with a copper wire running low levels of electricity. So inside of our brain, we have a radio station that regulates our brainwave frequency, and so everything I do as a medium and everything that anybody does when they have a psychic experience or a premonition, or you get the feeling that a deceased loved one is around you, it's not magic or hocus pocus. You're tuning into an ultra high frequency, which is what the other side is.
Well, I love we're kind of breaking into like the science of all of this.
Yes.
and kind of making it where we can all understand. Is that kind of where those biophotons are coming in?
Absolutely. A century ago, Albert Einstein said we're all beings of light. And Einstein said that there is no matter, that it's all about frequency that vibrates at different levels. Now that sounds all kind of far-fetched, but recently in Russia and then at Oxford and now at the University of Arizona, doctors have found that our cells communicate through flashes of light. So if you drop a bowling ball on your foot, it immediately hurts. And doctors have wondered for decades, how can the information get from your foot to your brain so quickly? What biophotons are, every single one of our cells emits low flashes of light. So our body's like a matrix, and it communicates at light speed because we know from quantum physics, from Albert Einstein and Feynman and Stephen Hawking and all the other Heisenberg, that light contains energy and information. So biophotons are light. Now here's what's fascinating. Every great spiritual teacher, from Krishna in India 5,000 years ago, through Moses talking to the burning bush to the light, through Buddha, through Jesus, through Muhammad, through Lao Tzu, through Billy Graham, through Gandhi, all the way up to Pope Francis, to all of our great Christian and interfaith ministers around the world, have all depicted God and described God in terms of light. And when people that have near-death experiences, where their consciousness leaves their body, crosses into the light, and talks about the intelligence and the love that is the light, what we're finding is that same light is within our cells. Everything, our entire planet, our life, exists upon light.
Oh, this is incredible. And I know we're quickly running out of time, and I really want to talk about quickly your book, because anybody who's interested in kind of communicating with spirits, in your book you reference interdimensional communication. So quickly touch on that.
Everything I do involves frequency. So when I communicate with the other side, that's another dimension, a parallel frequency. Look at it this way. We live in AM radio. We use frequency, we use vibration, we use energy, and the other side, the spirit realm, if you will, is FM radio. So let's say you're driving down the interstate listening to your favorite AM radio station and suddenly an FM station overlaps it. Happens to everybody. Well, that's what happens in spirit communication. The pineal gland in our brain is able to elevate our brainwave frequency. A spirit is aware of that and aligns his or her frequency to that. You get a frequency match. And that's why people who have dreams where a deceased loved one comes and speaks with them and gives you the contact experience has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it feels real and genuine. It's because it is. It's just that the pineal gland goes into that phase in the deeper levels of sleep.
Mark, this is all so fascinating. I feel like we could talk to you for 20 minutes and it still wouldn't be enough. So we're going to make sure everybody knows how to get your book, and also they can meet you while you're in town, get a book signing, and ask you their own questions, which I think is great. I'm going to give them all of that now. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us.
It's always a pleasure being back in Tucson and being on the Morning Blend. I look forward to returning.
Well, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And you can attend an evening of spirit communication and healing tonight at 7 p.m. at Unity of Tucson Church at 3617 North Camino Blanco. For tickets and more information, call 577-3300. The Sedona Spring Symposium will take place the 9th through the 11th. And for more details, you can log on to evidenceofeternity.com.